Hello, this is Minecraft Phenom 08 with a world tour of my world in which I have acquired 100 million iron ingots. This is a survival world, and I have plugged together a bunch of automations to get myself to over 100 million iron ingots. And today I'm going to be showing off some of what, or I should say pretty much all of what I built so far. Now, where we're at right now is where I really started. This is my first building. I never got around to putting a roof on it, and down here is my mine shaft in which I mined for stuff, and yeah, this is where it all began. Now, as we fly around, I have a quantum suit on, so I can fly. We have over here a rubber tree farm. It actually is still functioning, although I have taken some of the stuff away. I have a bunch of charcoal here, but I don't have any usage for that right now. And it's a self-powering system using the charcoal to power some steam dynamos over here. So that's cool. Over here is my original laser base, or my original laser mining rig. And yeah, this was I guess my first automatic mining system. And this is my farm that I haven't done anything with in a long time. And this is my Tinker Smeltery, which apparently has a lot of blood in it. Over here is my first applied energistic system. It is a tangled mess, but it functioned pretty well. I had automatic ore smelting or ore processing over here. And then I added some stuff over here. This was for fuel, I believe from coal. And so that powered the system. As of right now, it's not running because I've kind of moved away from this area. This building right here was where, well, it was an applied energistic system that made processors automatically. So you just dumped in the gold, the silicon, and the redstone, and it made processors. This is funny because I didn't even know this was destroyed, but this was my first mob spawner place. And this used to be all cursed earth, but apparently something came along and blew up a bunch of my stuff. So this building pretty much doesn't exist anymore, as does a lot of this building. This building was my second place for automatic mining, and I once again used these laser bases and laser drills from Industrial Foregoing to get some stuff, and they were powered by steam dynamos once again. And this system over here was a simple cobblework system. And I produced glass, stone, and cobblestone, and obsidian, and lava, as we see right here. So this is my old base. Over here we have my brother's base. There's not really much going on over there, except a bunch of cows and a pen. Now over here, this is my current base. And it doesn't have a super large footprint, but there's a lot of stuff going on. First, let's go to the main building, which is actually like one of the smallest buildings, and that would be, actually, let's get a good overhead view, kind of see the layout of this place. And yeah, this little building right straight in front of me is my main building, and then I have a bunch of taller buildings around it, and they do a bunch of different things. But this building is kind of the brains of the operation. I have my pattern terminal here and my interface terminal. This is where I set up a bunch of my automations. In the basement here, if we go down, we have elevators from the elevator mod, which are very useful. We have thermal expansion machines along this wall, and they are all automated. Let's say we need some pulverized. I can't spell pulverized. What can I make? Yeah, let's say 1,000 copper. We type that in, and we have pulverizers right here. But beyond that, this system is actually a little bit bigger than what we have to show, and I don't want to give too much away. But actually, a good way to do this would be cut away like this. This is how the system operates. There are a bunch of ME interfaces here, and along each ME interface there are actually 4 machines. So there's not just the one pulverizer here, there's actually 4 of them. There's one back here, there's one down below, and there's one on the other side of the ME interface. So that's one thing that kind of makes this this automation special, because it can do a lot of things all at once because instead of just having one machine hooked up to each interface, I actually have 4. So, and actually the system is the same over here for my industrial craft automations. And actually this extractor right here provides me rubber because it pulls sticky resin from the ME interface behind it. And so that's how I get rubber. Let's see here. Let's move on to our primary energy generation, which is through extreme reactors, or the mod extreme reactors. A lot of the steam for my turbines is produced by this reactor right here, which is almost maxed out actually. And it provides steam to, I believe, 24 turbines, 12 of which are in this building and 12 of which are in that building right there. But if we run down here, we can see that we have 2 turbines on each level, and there are 6 levels to this building. Before the basement, there's not really, I guess there's some stuff going on in the basement, but there are no turbines. And each of the turbines in this building, except for 2 of them, are set up precisely like this turbine. It has 24 ludocrate blocks, and it is, I think, 12 long, and the dimensions, I guess, would be 7 by 7 by 12. 12 long, 7 wide, 7 high, and it provides lots of power. And like I said, I actually have 12 of these guys in this building. Let's hop on over to this building because the turbines are actually set up just a little bit differently. They, instead of having 24 ludocrate blocks, they have 32 ludocrate blocks, and I have 80 turbine, not rotors, but rotor blades. I have 80 turbine rotor blades. I think I said 29 or something stupid like that. But and these guys provide more power. They provide just over 28,000 RF per tick. So these 2 buildings provide a lot of power, and I have some more power over here. These are more extreme reactors turbines, and these turbines are actually set up the exact same as the turbines in this building right here, as in they produce I think 21,000 RF per tick. However, they get their steam through steam dynamos that are set up with the boiler conversion augment and some auxiliary transmission coil augments. And there are 2 of them, and these turbines actually run a little bit different steam configuration. They take in a little bit more steam. They provide a little bit more power. So that's a lot of my energy generation. I guess along with that, I also have a building over here that provides energy generation through numismatic dynamos, and most of them are powered by diamonds. And they have the lapidary calibration upgrade to allow that to happen. Down here I have my processing of diamond ore into diamonds, and here's where I keep the diamonds, and this item duct system provides diamonds to all of my dynamos here. And the dynamos on this floor and the floor above at this floor, these all use diamonds. However, this is the base floor, this is the basement. This uses a slightly different system. Half the dynamos, so the dynamos on the right here use apatite with the lapidary calibration upgrade, and the dynamos on the left side of me use mana infused coins without the lapidary calibration upgrade. And so through all of my systems, I actually haven't done an energy calculation in my head, but I want to say it's somewhere near 1,000,000 RF per tick. So that's pretty much all of my RF generation. Let's go down to my void ore miners. Now my void ore miners are down several levels, and let's go all the way down. Here is where I have my void ore miners. I have 12 tier 6 void ore miners, and they are not, I guess, running at max. Okay, usually they are, but apparently they're not all running at max power right now. But anyways, they are all powered through the cryo-stabilized flux duct and all of the energy systems I just showed upstairs. So I get a lot of stuff all the time. This is just one of them, and this one is fully powered. But anyways, usually they're fully powered. I don't know. I guess something's going on right now. But anyways, so there's 12 of those. That gets me a lot of my general production at this point. This is the third basement in my main building, and this is where I have all my processing units for my automatic crafting. There are a lot of these guys, including this monstrosity right here. And this thing right here is pretty much just to build solar or high voltage solar arrays, because they are a very complex recipe. And let's just actually go ahead and see. Yeah, this right here, just making one of them requires 2,000 copper, 1,000 tin, 5,000 rubber, or 5,000 iron ingots, almost 7,000 rubber. Yeah. Anyways, if you want to make a bunch of these guys, you have to have a big processing unit, and that's what that is. This level, my second basement of my main building, has all of my base crafting of my applied energistic system. If you are familiar with applied energistics any, the molecular assemblers just provide automatic crafting for anything you could make in a crafting table. And so I have a lot of these set up, and we already showed off all of this stuff, so let's move on to let's go to one of the smaller buildings. Let's go to this guy. This is my uranium ore processing building, and we have both solar power from the high voltage solar arrays up here, and then we have power from nuclear reactors, and I have lots of nuclear reactors in this world. And why is this not? Oh, shoot. Okay, my reactors aren't on right now, and that's because the redstone wire from immersive engineering is broken right now. But that's cool because we still have the solar power, so things are still getting processed. And in this black hole unit, we have plutonium. In this one, we have the tiny piles of uranium-235, and in this one, we have uranium-238. And okay, let's see. Right here, we have the MOX fuel rods that are completed. Actually, this system is really cool, I think. It's pretty compact for what it does. It makes both the MOX fuel rods over here, and it has regular dual fuel rods over here. And the way to get down, I guess there's a basement under here that I haven't told you about. There's some more automation down here, and all the plumbing for all the machines that are above. And right here we have a system to make quad fuel rods, because I added this a little bit later for another system, I guess. And the metal formers down here are powered by radioisotopic thermoelectric generators. And these things, this fuel never runs out, so this is a really good fuel system for these guys. And yeah, anytime I need plates, copper plates or iron plates for this system, it makes them. I don't have to worry about powering it because that power supply never, ever depletes. In this building, I have some simple automation using material stonework factories. And I have silicon right here. And if you're not familiar with material stonework factories, they're actually really, really cool. They can make a lot of different things. Among them, silicon, stone, glass, sand, and cobblestone, of which this room makes. I also have gravel, and let's see. That's, what is this for? I don't remember what this is for. The sand is for. But anyways, oh, that's for this dirt. And then I have a glacial precipitator to make snowballs. And yeah, that's pretty much that little building. Everything crammed in there. And let's go over here. This is my newer processor building. This makes processors just like the other building at my old base did, except this one is a little bit faster. This building right here is my mob spawning. And right now we're spawning blazes. And I believe that the bees in here spawn blazes. Actually, no, they don't. Maybe they do. No, they don't. It's not even running right now. So obviously it's not spawning anything. But up here we have some cursed earth, which you can barely see the edge of with my cursor. And that spawns monsters. And I'm using the mob crusher from Industrial Foregoing and the mob slider factory. Right here is how I get meat to my meat feeder, which is a nifty little device so that I never have to eat. And that's pretty much this building. Right here is my wither spawning building. And outside we have the mob grinder from Draconic Evolution, because that mob grinder can kill withers. Currently we are one wither skeleton skull away from having another wither. And once that wither spawns, it will get killed by the Draconic Evolution mob grinder on the other side, and I get more nether stars. Yeah, nether stars. Oh, whoops, it's because I have that on. And I have like 700 of those right now. I don't spawn withers real fast, to be honest. Let's go to this building right here. This is a building for automatic ore processing. And there's a lot going on in this building. Right here we have, on this level, are pulverizers. And these pulverizers process all the ores here: coal, certus, lead, platinum, copper, yellowite, as well as emerald, lapis, nickel, redstone, destabilized redstone, silver, and nether quartz. So all of that gets processed on the first level here. Over here we have redstone ore processing, and each one nets us blocks of redstone as well as rich slag, which is very useful. And then let's go to the second floor. This floor is for my redstone furnaces, and let's see here, it smelts all of these things, all of these ground up powders, as well as these three. And so on the floor up here we have more pulverizers, but these pulverizers are set up a little bit differently than the pulverizers on the first floor. The pulverizers on the first floor have maximum speed, as in the augments here are just to speed them up, whereas these upgrades, or these augments, are so that I get more of the secondary outputs. And this floor pulverizes aluminum ore, tin ore, and gold ore. And that's because I want the secondary outputs from these three particular ores. For aluminum and tin, I believe it is pulverized iron, and for gold it is cinnabar. And so those secondary outputs are highly desirable to me, so I snap them up as much as I can. This building is kind of a nifty building in that it uses atomic reconstructors, auto breakers, and auto placers in a system to essentially mine for me. And down here we have the redstone clock and redstone system that controls everything upstairs to keep everything happening how it needs to. What happens is it takes stone, the auto placer places stone, and then the laser hits it with the it has a lens of the miner on it. All of them have a lens of the miner, and that turns the stone into a random type of ore, be it iron, copper, etc. And then the block breaker breaks it, and it goes into my system right here. And so that system works on a timer and some redstone control right here, and that's pretty cool. This is where the stone is made for the system, and actually if we want to do some nifty things, we can speed up the system. And I'm not sure that I have enough power to actually run the system that fast, but it looks really cool when you do that. Okay, let's shut that thing. Let's not do that. Okay. So essentially, the faster I have that clock set, the more stuff I get from the system. However, I am kind of struggling for energy apparently right now, so I'm not going to have that system really do a whole lot right now. This building is actually vacant. I had some deep resonance stuff in this building, but I decided to get rid of it. So all we have left really is my lava production and a lava tank with a lot of lava in it. Actually, I guess there's one main thing I have, or one of the main things I haven't really shown yet is my basement here. And I have a basement underneath all of my roads, as well as the brains to my applied energistic system. My controller sits right here. It is, I think, 7 by 7 by 7, and I have all of the center blocks on the top side out, and that's just for the energy conduit to pass through. And all of my covered cables are routed, and I really like this system because it allows for fairly neat and fairly organized applied energistic system and power system. And right down here we actually have our power system that is dedicated to the applied energistic system, and it is just some compression dynamos set up with ignition plugs to use refined fuel to power my applied energistic system. I segregated the power systems specifically because in a case in which I'm actually running low on power in my main system, my applied energistic system should always remain on. And I actually had problems with that. That's why I built that system right there. And over here we have storage for individual items, which I have a lot of. Clearly I have a lot of stuff. Even things I'm not particularly focusing on, like lead ore, I have 12 million. And that's just simply because I have a lot of stuff for my void ore miners and my mining system in the void ore crystal building over there. Okay, so let's go to some of my nuclear buildings. Actually, let's go to this nuclear building right here. And this building has 2 floors of nuclear reactors, and they are all set up like this. They're all not on, apparently. Oh my goodness. So I need to redo all of the redstone wiring, apparently, throughout my entire base. But anyways, these typically provide me quite a bit of power. Obviously, none of them are running right now, but I can fix that after I'm done with this. And they provide me a lot of iron ore because they are hooked up to mass fabricator systems that make iron ore. So let's... Actually, there's a basement. Duh. Down here we have a bunch of recyclers, and these make scrap for my systems because the mass fabricators like to run on scrap. If you provide the mass fabricators with scrap, they produce a whole lot more UU matter, which leads to more iron ore. And I believe we're through all buildings except for 2 of them. Right here is my bee building. This is where I at first bred bees, and now I have bees for production purposes. If you're not familiar with bees, there are some really good bees in this mod pack. And I don't think I've even mentioned it. This is the Direwolf 21.12.2 mod pack. I think it's version 1.8. But down here we have some automation for our bees. This system right over here actually makes queens. It makes these queens right here, which are awesome pyro queens. They are ignoble stock. And yeah, this system pretty much, this is my genetic manipulation area, I guess, from Gindustry. And Gindustry pretty much allows you to genetically manipulate bees, trees, and butterflies really easily and mutate them really easily. On the second floor here, we have Pyro Queens, and let's just look up Pyro Queens real fast because what the Pyro Queen does is it makes all this stuff right here. Primary among them is the pyrotheum dust, because I use a lot of pyrotheum dust. And I have apiaries on the 3rd floor, and they have the same Pyro Queens in them. So, I guess we're going to tour this building last, but we have one more building, and it's built far away. And that's just because frame issues. It hurts my frames per second if I have this too close, because this system is a whole lot of nuclear reactors. And most of them are set up, actually let's go down to the main floor. Most of them are set up like the other building, and as in they are like this, and they provide anywhere from 300 and I think 33 EU per tick, and some of them provide like 443, yeah. And they power 2 different mass fabricator systems, in which provide me iron ore. And the second floor is much the same. On the 3rd floor, however, we have nuclear reactors that are set up somewhat differently. These nuclear reactors are set up like this. They have quad fuel rods and are cooled by condensators, both the RSH version and the LZH version. And the plumbing kind of looks like so. Over here we have lapis. Over here we have redstone blocks. And these redstone comparators are set up to tell the system that if I run out of redstone blocks or lapis blocks, that I guess I have to run out of both. But if both run out, it should shut these reactors down because the redstone control is tied up to these two comparators. And those reactors over there power this mass fabricator system over here. And oh, there's one more thing. In the basement of this building, we have more recyclers, and they are powered by their own nuclear reactors, which are set up like this. They are powered on dual fuel rods. And these reactors provide just enough power each for 2 recyclers, and each one does power 2 recyclers. And so this system makes a lot of scrap boxes. Over here we have 1.7 million, and over here we have 3.1 million. So that's a lot of scrap boxes. That's a lot of iron that this building makes. And so lastly, let's go to my iron processing building, which is the iron building that I have not showed off over here. And in this building we have, let's go to the basement first. We have more bees to make pyrotheum, and over here we have the magma crucibles, which melt down the pyrotheum dust to blazing pyrotheum. And that is because we use blazing pyrotheum in my induction smelters. Now I actually have 2 different systems that look like they're one system, but here we have 2 systems. All of the induction smelters along the walls, along the outside walls, use sand and blazing pyrotheum to smelt iron ore, and each time it smelts it gives me 3 iron ingots. And so that's pretty efficient. But inside here, these 2 lines of induction smelters, as in this line and this line, use rich slag or cinnabar and blazing pyrotheum along with the iron ore to make 4 iron ingots per cycle. So that gives me a lot of iron ore there. And right now this system is a little bit backlogged, which is kind of funny because I have a bunch of my stuff not running right now that I didn't know about, but whatever. And let's go upstairs because we have more iron smelting up here. Up here we have macerators from Industrial Craft 2, and that breaks down the iron ore into 2 crushed iron ore, which is then purified by the ore washing plants on the outside here. And all this stuff is powered by, I have 4 reactors which are set up like this, and they provide about 1,000 EU per tick, and a bunch of solar arrays on the top of the building, which we can see right on either side of the building. And that's how this system is powered. This water is obviously for the ore washers over here. And I guess after the ore washers make the purified crushed ore, it is actually smelted in the building over here with the redstone furnaces. And that pretty much wraps up how I have all my systems set up in this world. There's a lot going on all the time. I definitely need to fix my redstone control in this building because I didn't realize that it was all broken and that none of these reactors are running right now. But once I get that going, I'll get even more iron ore, which is awesome. As of right now, I actually have quite a bit more than 100 million iron ingots, but 100 million just sounds really good. I actually have about 160 million iron ingots, which is awesome. Currently, I'm doing a Let's Play series in which I am chasing 1 billion iron ingots, and I am definitely going to get there at some point. It's just kind of a matter of time at this point. And I'm totally looking forward to that. If you're interested in how I built all of these systems and want to watch me actually build all of this stuff, you can watch my Let's Play series. I have a bunch of episodes up at this point, and I think it's a good watch. I do a lot of things that other players might do, but I do them on a much, much bigger scale, so I think it's worth watching. But anyways, hope you had fun. Hope you enjoyed the tour. And I am Minecraft Phenom 08. Hopefully, I will see you in another video.